Hold on, we're moving past the architecture and into the digital physics of the 2026 sovereign stack. At level 7, we don't ask if a system works, we ask if it can survive a global catastrophe while remaining economically net positive. You want two questions? Fine, but these aren't just questions, these are multi-billion-dollar strategy decisions. One covers the infrastructure of survival, and the other covers the intelligence of evolution. The Level 7 Ultimate Deep Dive. Let's break it down to the molecular level. Welcome to the inner sanctum. This is your Maximus. If Level 5 is about building, Level 7 is about endurance. How does a company survive a global network collapse? How do you scale to 1 billion users without burning a hole in the ozone layer? We're talking about systems of systems. Strap in, because the details here separate the experts from the visionaries. Let's dive deep. The Level 7 Elite. 2-question strategic masterclass. 1. The survivability mandate. Architecting an anti-fragile global control plane. The question: in 2026, a Tier 0 global cloud provider, AWS, Azure, or GCP, suffers a 48-hour regional state corruption, not just an outage, but data-level inconsistency. How do you design a provider-agnostic control plane that ensures 100% availability for a billion-user fintech ecosystem? The deep dive answer. The philosophy of anti-fragility. At Level 7, you don't just fail over, you design for Byzantine fault tolerance, BFT. You assume the cloud provider might lie to you. The execution: cellular isolation and mesh control. You implement a cell-based architecture where each cell, user set, is isolated. The global traffic manager. Use a global server load balancer that doesn't rely on the provider's DNS. Distributed state. Use conflict-free replicated data types, CRDTs, or a global consensus engine like a private high-speed Raft implementation that spans multiple clouds. The kill switch protocol. You implement static stability. This means if the control plane, the brain that scales servers, dies, the data plane, the heart that processes payments, keeps beating using its last known healthy state. You use eBPF-driven observability to detect silent data corruption at the kernel level before it reaches the database. 2. The cognitive mandate. Governance of autonomous agentic ecosystems. The question: as we move from human in the loop to human on the loop, how do you architect a trust and safety framework for an ecosystem of 10,000 plus autonomous AI agents that have read-write access to production financial data? The deep dive answer. The shift from copilot to agent. In 2026, developers don't write code, they manage agentic swarms. The execution: the guardrail sandbox. Deterministic validation. You build a verification layer where every AI proposed action, a DB migration, must pass a digital twin simulation. If the simulation shows even a 0.001% risk of data loss, the action is blocked by a hard-coded security policy as code. The semantic firewall. You implement retrieval-augmented generation at scale but with a differential privacy layer. This ensures that AI can learn from global patterns without leaking one user's private data to another. Governance. The kill code. You maintain hardware root of trust. Every AI agent has a unique cryptographic identity stored in a trusted execution environment, TEE. If an agent starts exhibiting architectural drift, doing things it wasn't designed for, its hardware key is revoked instantly, neutralizing it at the silicon level. Table. The Level 7 decision physics. Strategic pillar. Level 5, staff. Level 7, distinguished or CTO. Data gravity. Optimize the SQL query. Move compute to the data, edge computing. Scalability. Add more instances. Cellular isolation to mitigate global outages. AI integration. Use LLMs for code. Governance for autonomous agentic swarms. Cost. FinOps. Reduce AWS bill. Carbon negative unit profitability. GreenOps. The punch with a sovereign tech architect twist. At Level 7, you aren't just an engineer, you are a steward of the digital nervous system. You don't build apps, you build realities that are anti-fragile. They get stronger when they are stressed. In 2026, the highest form of engineering is creating a system so robust it eventually looks like a law of nature. Outro. Ultimate executive enthusiasm. Ready to stop following the map and start drawing the future? Which of these endurance challenges makes you want to get back to the whiteboard? Let me know in the comments. For every billion user strategy, sovereign tech move, and global engineering update, keep it locked here. We tell the truth loud and we tell it quick. This is Maximus signing off. Keep watching. Bye-bye.